By then, we already knew what our lead story was going to be. It was going to be the fact that MMC of Transport in Johannesburg, Kenny Kunene, was found at the house of a suspect that was getting arrested a day prior, right? So when they swooped in to arrest him, Kenny Kunene was there allegedly waiting for a meeting. That was going to be our story. At about 11:35, I don't know why, I wake up. And when I wake up, I go to Twitter. How? Breaking news. Here is Gayton Mckenzie now, president of Patriotic Alliance, saying this.
Kenny Kunene will be investigated, and I'm going to tell you who's going to investigate him. Lawyers of good character. And while he's being investigated, I'm going to remove him from being a MMC. I'm going to write to them. I'm also going to tell him to stand back from politics for 1 month until the investigation is done. That's the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. It's the hardest thing. Act against Kenny Kunene. It's the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Now, if you know the history of Gayton Mckenzie and Kenny Kunene, right? They obviously do have a criminal history. They are reformed criminals. And now they're politicians and parliamentarians, right? Everybody was saying, birds of a feather. Before they even knew what was happening, they're like, the fact that Kenny was found at this house, it means that a leopard doesn't change his stripes, yada, yada, yada. First of all, legally, right? There's nothing illegal about being found at a suspect's house.
True.
Nothing.
Of course, of course.
I'm not defending him. I'm giving you what the facts are, right?
Yeah.
And when he was found there, he wasn't committing any criminal act himself, right? There was also no crime taking place in his presence. Otherwise, he would have been arrested too. The fact that he wasn't, obviously, means it's cool. He tells us that he was there to conduct an interview. Now, back before they became politicians, Kenny and Gayton ran this blog, right? It was basically like an online publication. They used to break some stories here and there. And I think once things took off in politics, they didn't need that anymore. So that blog has kind of been defunct over the last couple of years. Now, Kenny says that he went there with a young journalist that he's taken under his wing because this is going to be an exclusive interview that they're conducting with the suspect, the one that ended up being arrested, for this very same publication. Plausible, right? And so that's pretty much where we are. My question is, do you believe that story, that he was there for that? And then the second question is, now that Gayton Mckenzie has acted very promptly, might we add, more promptly than the president has ever acted against anyone of his own. Yeah. Do you feel like Gayton is absolved of any wrongdoing? Because they were beginning to paint him with that same brush as well. Mpo?
Aesthetics, guys. For me, literally, it is aesthetics. Because also, this is the same Gayton Mckenzie who tweeted, and I quote, "Firstly, I believe Kenny 100%. I can't expect everyone to believe him. Hence, we're launching a full investigation to prove what we know already, which is that he is innocent." Close quote. Yeah. If you are launching an investigation and you're already saying to us, you know he is innocent, you are now saying to me, you're only doing this for aesthetics. And chances are, what are the chances that he didn't know that Kenny was there to begin off with, because we know you're so close? So at the end of the day, to me, it comes across like, listen, Ntwana, you're just going to make us look bad. So let me be seen to be doing something as the leader of the PA, because we've come in and said we are anti-corruption.
I disagree with that.
Really?
Yes. Why can't I have somebody investigated but still support them? Like, for example, somebody who's constantly going to go, I've known him for 20 years. Should never do that. But in the interest of procedure, let's investigate her, and then the investigation will absolve her. There's nothing wrong with me saying, I know you haven't done something, but still, step aside, let the investigation take over.
I think he's trying to play it safe with Kenny. I tell you why. He's trying to, if he has this close relationship with Kenny. So he's trying to say, Kenny, listen, it is for optics. Yeah. You are going to be investigated, but you're still my brother and I care about you deeply and I think you didn't do this. So I think he's trying to play it both sides in terms of being clean in front of the world and police investigations that are happening, but also assuring Kenny that I got your back.
And also,
So this is your party. How do you feel?
number one, extremely disappointed.
In who?
In his part.
In my party.
Okay.
It's not my. No, I gave them a chance.
Okay.
Look, I voted for different parties. And they were one of the guys. I was like, hey, I'm not to buy in the sense. Not anymore. Very disappointed. And of course, Gayton and Kenny. Gayton, yeah, that's what we call them, right? The two of them, they're Gayton. They are brothers, and Gayton understands and Kenny understands that Kenny will not go down with the entire ship. They've worked very hard to convince the likes of me and so many South Africans that you could see by the voter turnout that they are the good party. And now they're trying to set an example. But really, we both know that these guys are brothers. And I don't believe Kenny was there for a blog or anything. Number one, this guy, Molefe, was going to get arrested in December. And then somebody, possibly him, called the head of the Hawks, Godfrey Libya. Right, and there was a specialized police force unit at his gate, and the Hawks came. Helicopters were there, and there was a standoff between police and the Hawks to protect this guy.
Well, no, wait. There was no standoff. So let me correct that. The head of the Hawks gave an interview about this yesterday.
Yes.
On record.
Yes.
He says he was called because he was told that there are officers impersonating Hawks officials. That does happen, by the way. Either as a criminal tactic when people are trying to get into your house and do a home invasion, or when people are trying to dispossess you of certain assets. Then he says, as the head of the Hawks, he called around. First, he asked their task force manager, hey, are we conducting an operation in Joburg? Said, I'm not aware of it. They said, since it's Joburg, he called the provincial commissioner to find out, hey, is there an operation being conducted? And again, the provincial commissioner was none the wiser. Then he decided to dispatch a team to go take a look what is happening at that location. All of which makes sense, by the way, right?
Yep.
Like, okay, if these guys are pretending to be us, let's go see who these people are. Once he got there, the SAPS, the members that were conducting this operation, then produced identification. He was like, okay, that's fine. There was no standoff, there was no shootout. Then the guys left. Gayton Mckenzie himself said this. There was never a shootout.
And the arrest never happened.
No, the arrest happened.
Oh, the arrest? Okay.
Yes.
But my thing is, if
The arrest happened, the guy went to court, then he was released on bail.
okay, I was telling that story to prove that any one of us, okay, maybe not Sizwe, if the Hawks or I suspect fake Hawks were at my doorstep, the head of the Hawks is not going to be calling around. I don't even know who to call. I don't even have access to anyone higher up in the Hawks to try and, ascertain whether the guys are legit Hawks or not. So my thing is, Kenny Kunene then has founded a guy who is possibly that influential, and he says he was there because he was accompanying a journalist. I don't believe that, man. And
Well, so here's the thing. The question you need to ask is, again, there's nothing wrong with any of what you said. It's all circumstantial. So fine, you happen to be at a guy's house who knows the head of the Hawks. So what? Nothing wrong with that. What you need to ask yourself, though, is Kenny being honest when he says he doesn't know the individual at all? Because if he doesn't know the individual, how was he able to then broker an interview?
and the guy's never given interviews before.
Yes, that's what I'd want to know.
Molefe never.
I also want to know, what is this exclusive that you were there for?
Well, that's another thing, because if you are there to revive your publication, now you've got the exclusive firsthand.
Breaking story.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
An arrest happened.
I would have been
An arrest
tweeting.
happened.
I would have been tweeting live and say, "Hey, you are fair to Gizene Engela." Hey, Gizene Engela. So now give us a shout and let us know what your thoughts are.